Hello again. This is Sam Houston, and welcome to My Front Porch. Elections. When will the childish game stop? Early voting has been going on for the past few days, and Election Day is March 3rd. It's soon to be upon us. It's certainly been an interesting campaign season. I've seen a great many elections come and go in my nearly 70 years, but this election cycle seems to set a new high in lows. Let me start by quoting Abraham Lincoln, who said, "Elections belong to the people. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their backs on the fire and burn their behinds, then they'll just have to sit on the blisters." No more true statement was ever made. We certainly have our fair share of fires. Maybe it's time we face them rather than turning our backside. A good start to doing that is picking the best candidates for the job. I am prayerful and hopeful that the electorate of Hood County calmly reflects upon the candidates, their associations, their motivations and agenda, and make an informed, deliberate decision. Unfortunately, some of the candidates have done little to contribute to the atmosphere of creating an informed public. They would much rather identify a problem and tell the voters whom to blame, all while being very short on or non-responsive on solutions. It would seem you either believe just as they believe, or you're the enemy, on the take, or the cause of all that's wrong with the world. When candidates fail to appear at multiple candidate forums, or only appear at forums where they can control the environment, it raises questions as to their transparency and their ability to respond to reasonable inquiries. Why would any candidate fail to appear at multiple independent forums unless they have something to fear or hide? Why would the public want to support such a candidate? When seeking insight into candidates' views and their plans, voters sometimes get broad, generalized statements which really carry no weight in terms of how the candidate might fulfill the obligations of the office for which they're seeking. We've all seen the ads, "Fighting for you," "Protecting your rights," "We the people," which are all nice jingoistic slogans which inspire images of patriotism and flag waving. But what do they mean in terms of the obligations of the job? Specifically, what is the candidate going to do if they're elected? At the foundation of all local elections, there's a specific job task which must be fulfilled. How a candidate is going to fulfill those obligations and what they understand about the job, their knowledge of how the system operates, and how they make government work better for the public is all important. How a county commissioner feels about gun rights or tariffs matter little in their performance of their duties as a commissioner. It's simply political fodder expressed to take the voters' eyes off the ball in hopes to make a political connection and gain support. The advent of social media has provided everyone with the power to reach out to tens of thousands of people and express their opinions. Such access can be a good thing when those who post identify who they are so people can give weight to their assertions and better understand their motivations. Unfortunately, it's allowed a small group of people in Hood County the power to create misinformation, which they label as political satire, allowing them to do nothing more than create a junior high level diatribe which neither informs, educates, or promotes a good political discourse. If the people who are responsible for these types of posts are well-intended, then why do they not identify who they are, but instead hide behind made-up names or other barriers? Why do the same few people have so many aliases and hide behind so many groups? And why don't they disclose who's behind their efforts? Sort of makes a fellow wonder, doesn't it? On one of these political social media websites, the author asserts he's all about transparency in government, yet amazingly, they do not identify who they are or why they operate anonymously. It would seem to be a case of doing as I say, not as I do. Some of these same individuals have in the past elections pronounced their endorsements of candidates who were later convicted of sex-related crimes involving children, and others who now have multiple felony arrests. Why should a voter support a candidate who's received numerous endorsements from the same people? If someone at the racetrack gives me a tip on a horse and it finishes last, I'm not inclined to listen the second time around. Please think before you vote. Cast your vote in a meaningful way based on facts and evidence, not on a political agenda which is short on facts and long on blame. We all deserve better. It's time to solve problems and stop childish, self-serving games. Thought for the day. When you want to help people, you tell them the truth. When you want to help yourself, you tell them what they want to hear. Thomas Sowell. Until next time, I'll keep riding the storm out.
You've been listening to From My Front Porch with Sam Houston, brought to you by the Granbury Theater Company. You can catch Sam's column every week in the print edition of the Hood County News or online at hcnews.com.